Join Kids Hat family.
Tia, did you know Jack pushed Henry today while playing? Poor Henry didn't say a word, but later someone pushed Jack and he hurt himself. Jack got very upset and said sorry to Henry because he felt he did him wrong. Well, it's good that Jack realized his mistake when the same happened to him. What goes around comes around. What do you mean by that, Tia? Well, I will tell you a story of the Cave Princess. The Cave Princess. Once upon a time, there lived a cruel duo of a mother and a daughter. They had a maid named Catherine who was treated terribly. They made her do unnecessary work and tired her. Catherine, come here and put the shoes on my feet. Look at your ragged clothes. Oops, now you can't wear them anymore. You pile of gunk. Come here and clean this. But ill-fated Catherine had no other choice but to work because she had poor old parents to feed. One day, Catherine was sent into the woods to collect lumber and catch a fish for dinner. But little Catherine had to carry all the heavy lumber by herself. Come here, you silly fowl. Go to the woods and bring some lumber and fish before dusk. But miss, I would need some help to carry the heavy lumber. Get lost and do what I told you, you muck. Oh, okay. She packed herself some leftover loaf of bread and went into the woods. Oh God, please help me find a way. How will I carry all the lumber on my back? I am so tired of walking already. Oh dear, what happened to you? Who did this to you? Here, I can share my lunch with you. I have a long journey to make, so I saved some for myself. I hope you don't mind. Take care, doggo. I will see you on my way back home. Oh, poor dog. Have this too. I will find myself something to eat. You need this more than I do. And so she feeds the dog with all that she had. She still had a long journey to make. Poor Catherine had no other option but to go on in the scorching heat of the sun. As she moved ahead, she saw a flash of white light where the dog was. It turned into a handsome young prince on a beautiful black horse. Catherine got startled and started running. I didn't do anything. Please don't harm me. I just fed a starving dog.
Oh, please stop. I won't harm you. You are so beautiful and kind. You just turned the spell backwards. The witch of the dark cave cast a spell on me. She turned me into a dog. I have been in the woods for 25 years of my life, living the life of a dog.
But how did I turn back the spell? I just fed a poor dog.
The witch gave me a spell that I won't turn back into a prince until and unless a person with a kind heart and generous intentions feeds me food and gives me love. There is only a family of 2 women that live in the woods. They have always been inhuman to me. They threw food at me and kicked me when I didn't eat. But you fed me with kindness and generosity and love.
Oh, I am sorry about whatever happened to you, sir. Those women must be evil at heart. But anyways, you must forgive them. God is always watching out for the kind.
Indeed they are. What are you doing in this awful heat?
I am going to collect some lumber and fish for my missus.
Do you live in that old cottage?
Yes, sir. I work for them.
Oh girl, you work for the brutal women. Never mind. Do you want to see something unbelievable? Come, climb the horse.
I have to get home before dusk.
Don't you worry about that. I got you.
They climb on the beautiful black horse and go deeper into the woods, away from the evil world. They stop by right at the opening of a dark cave.
Come on, let's walk inside.
It's pretty dark in here. I am so scared.
Hold my hand, Catherine.
They walk inside the cave, and as they move further, they enter a beautiful land full of butterflies, flowers, and rabbits. There stands the princess' beautiful and enormous palace. They walk inside, and the prince proposes to marry Catherine. Her eyes are full of joy as she holds his hand and says yes. There is a flash of colorful lights, and the whole kingdom lightens up. There is flavorsome food being served at the dinner table and a dozen of servants in the palace. Suddenly, Catherine spots her missus. Miss Katie, what are you doing here? Hello, Princess Catherine. How may I serve you? Please don't mind. My lord, here's your platter of food. What is happening here? They are my missus. Why are they working for me?
My beloved, this is your world and your kingdom now. God has rewarded you for your kindness and humbleness. This palace is yours. These servants work for you. They are the people who did you wrong. They are paying for what they did to you.
But I don't want them to work for me. I am very uncomfortable. They are my missus. I used to work for them.
Princess Catherine, that is very kind of you. How are you so humble, generous, and forgiving even to the people who did you so wrong?
My dear prince, I believe what goes around comes around. Everyone has to pay for their deeds. It is not me who would decide their punishment by God. I want to forgive my missus even if they mistreated me. I know I will get a better reward than doing wrong to those who wronged me in the first place.
Oh, my dearest, you are the most humble of all.
Catherine turns into the cave princess, and the couple lives happily ever after in their peaceful little world, away from the cruel world. Oh, Tia, what a beautiful story it was. It surely proves what goes around comes around.
Yes, Tofu, it surely does.
Ha ha, Tofu, look. Bill, stop it. I don't want to play this game anymore.
Tofu, it's just a game. We're enjoying it. Why are you so angry?
I don't like this game anymore. I don't like any of you. Leave me alone.
Ouch! Tofu, what is wrong with you?
I'm so sorry, Jack. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Tofu, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Let's go, Bill. Tofu, I just saw what happened back at the playground. Why are you so angry?
Tia, I don't like anything. I hurt Jack because I was angry. I feel so sorry. I did not mean to hurt him at all.
Did you apologize to Jack?
Yes, I did, but they left me alone.
But Tofu, it was your mistake. You got angry and hurt your friends, and that's not good. You should never harm others, even if you're angry. It's important to control your emotions.
Yes, Tia, you are right. I will apologize to my friends again and never repeat this behavior.
That's like a good boy. Do you want to hear a story as we walk home?
Okay, I hope the story lights up my mood.
The Furious Princess Fiona. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there lived a furious princess named Fiona. She would get angry over the smallest things, and her anger would often lead to her destruction.
Elle, bring my shoes at once. I want to go for a walk. Here, pretty princess. Not these shoes, you silly girl. I want the new shoes that I got yesterday. But, princess, the queen asked me to save the shoes for the ball at the neighboring kingdom. I hate everyone in this palace. I will go for a walk barefoot. I don't need any shoes.
So the furious princess walked barefoot in the garden, and as she was walking, a thorn pricked her feet, making her jump off in pain.
No! Mother, I hurt my foot.
The furious princess let anger control her, and hence she ended up in trouble and pain every time. One day, she was walking through the forest when she saw a beautiful flower. She got angry that the flower was so beautiful and she wasn't, so she tried to crush it. But the flower spoke to her.
Princess, why are you so angry?
I am angry because I am not as beautiful as you are.
But princess, beauty is not just on the outside. It's on the inside too. And you have a beautiful heart. Maybe it's your anger that is making you feel so ugly.
What did you just say? You're just a flower. What do you even know about me and this world?
Princess Fiona, I will give you a task, and if you're able to succeed at it, you will get a great reward. And if not, you shall be trapped in a thorn tree.
What is the task, O flower?
You must speak only words of kindness and nothing else for the next few days. Once you succeed at it, you must come to me for a great reward.
Okay, I'll see you soon then. And as the sun was going down, the young princess went back to the palace and started working on the task given by the flower.
Princess Fiona, dinner is ready. The king and the queen are waiting for you in the dining hall.
Okay, sweet Elle, I will be there right away. Elle was taken aback by the way Princess Fiona spoke to her. She felt happy seeing the princess in such a great mood. The princess hopped to the dining hall with joy and sat at the dinner table. Wow, somebody looks in a great mood today. Yes, mother dear. Can you pass me the salad, please? The salad? But you don't even like salads. From now on, I will love everything in this world. That's a good change, my darling. I am so happy. And as days passed by, Princess Fiona got better and better at controlling her anger
and speaking only words of kindness to others. The princess realized that the flower was right. She let anger control her so much that she spoke nothing but harsh words. As she walked through the forest to thank the flower, she learned that kindness was more important than beauty, and her heart became even more beautiful than before.
Oh, young princess, what's your secret? You look so beautiful and calm.
The princess smiled at the squirrel and said, "Nothing." But the tree spoke up for her. "Sweet squirrel, it's her kindness that makes her so beautiful. She speaks nothing but only words of kindness to others." The princess finally reached the flower and kneeled next to it as she spoke. "Oh, beautiful flower, I have realized my faults. Thank you for making me understand that anger ruins everything."
I am glad, young princess. Here is your reward.
The flower gave Princess Fiona a halo that would always shine on her head and protect her from all the evils of this world.
Here, you deserve to shine. Oh, beautiful princess. No harm can touch your beautiful heart now.
Thank you, oh pretty flower. And that's the end of the story, Tofu. Do you understand the moral of the story?
Yes, dear. I understand that it's important to control my anger and be kind to others.
That's right, Tofu. And always remember, beauty is not just on the outside, it's on the inside too.
Thank you, Tia. I'll always remember that. Animals have such an easy life, dear. No school, no rules, no homework. What do they have to worry about?
Everybody has their troubles, Tofu. Let me tell you the story of Thumbelina. Once upon a time, a woman lived by herself in a faraway village. She was very lonely after her husband had died. She always wanted to have a child, but alas, she didn't have any. One day, she went to her friend who was a witch. The witch gave her a grain of barley and told her to go back home and plant it. The woman did as she was told. The next morning, a beautiful plant had grown from the seed. It had a lovely flower that looked like a tulip. The woman had never seen a flower like that and was mesmerized by its beauty. She gently kissed one of its petals. As she did that, the flower blossomed open. Inside it was a beautiful little girl, no bigger than the size of the woman's thumb. The woman instantly fell in love with her and called her Thumbelina. Thumbelina took away the woman's loneliness. In the day, she would tell her stories and talk to her. Sometimes she would make Thumbelina a boat out of a tulip petal
which she could row in a plate full of water. At night, Thumbelina would sleep in a bed out of a walnut shell with a blanket made of a rose petal. One night, as she was sleeping, a frog came to her window and saw her. He thought to himself, "What a beautiful girl! She will make a lovely bride for my son." And so he grabbed Thumbelina and hopped away to his home. When his son saw his bride-to-be, he was very happy. "She is beautiful, father. I will marry her. But before that, I want to build her a beautiful house."
Okay, son. I will put her on the water lily in the middle of the pond till then. This way she will not be able to escape.
And so the frog put Thumbelina in the middle of the pond on a water lily leaf. Thumbelina tried to escape from her new home, but when she couldn't, she broke down crying. Two minnows were sitting under the same leaf and they heard her cry. They asked her about her troubles, and when she told them, they decided to help her. They nibbled away the lily stem. Soon it broke and floated away with Thumbelina. Just when Thumbelina thought she was free, a beetle came down and took her away to his home. He called over his friends to introduce them to his pretty prisoner. But the beetle's friends told him that she was too different than them and she didn't belong with them.
I agree. I think I should let her go.
And so he dropped her in the long grass and flower. Thumbelina was very happy that she was free from her captors. However, she still did not know where her home was. She spent many days in the grass and between the flowers. She would eat the pollen of the flowers and drink the dew from the leaves. One day, as she was walking, she stumbled upon a small house made of mud. It had a strange round entrance. She went up to it and knocked on the door. A mouse opened the door.
Oh, hello there. Isn't it cold up there for you today? Come in, please. Thank you so much.
Once Thumbelina was settled comfortably in the mouse's house, he asked her about who she was. Thumbelina told him her entire story.
Do not worry. You can stay here as long as you like.
So Thumbelina started staying in her newfound home. To make herself useful in the house, she would cook for the mouse and tell him stories. After a few days, the mouse said he had invited a guest over.
He is the richest mouse in all the land. He is a very good friend of mine.
That night, the mouse's friend came over for dinner. They all talked and had a very good time. During the course of dinner, the friend fell in love with Thumbelina and declared that he would marry her. Thumbelina had no choice but to go along with what was happening. When the friend offered to show her his home, she agreed to visit his house. And the three of them set off together. On the way, they entered a tunnel. There they found an injured swallow lying on the ground. The mouse's friend kicked it and rudely said,
Serves her right. What is she doing in the tunnels? He should have stayed in the air.
Thumbelina was shocked to see that someone could treat another like this. Unseen by the mice, she ran away from there. Once she was sure that the mice had left, she came back and attended to the swallow. She took great care of her. Till she was fit to fly again. It became spring by the time the swallow could fly again. She told Thumbelina,
I have to join my family and friends. They have flown away to a warmer place. I cannot stay here. Come with me.
But Thumbelina had had enough adventure and did not want to go anywhere else, and so the swallow flew away. A few months had passed when the love-struck friend of the mouse found Thumbelina again.
Oh, my beloved, I have been looking for you everywhere. Now I have found you and must marry you.
Thumbelina knew there was no way out of it for her, so she asked him if she could spend one last day out in the open air before she was confined to living the rest of her life underground with him. As she roamed in the open fields for one last time, she heard a familiar voice.
Come away with me, where your spirit will always be free.
Thumbelina saw her old friend who had returned for her. This time around, she agreed and hopped on the back of the swallow, and they took off. They flew over land and water and fields of green. When they reached the land of the flowers,
The swallow landed Thumbelina on a beautiful flower petal. This is the kingdom of the flowers, and that is their king. Thumbelina saw a handsome young king with beautiful wings. He was surrounded by lovely flowers. As soon as she saw him, she knew she wanted to call this place home. Her presence attracted the king's attention. He too fell in love with her immediately. "Will you marry me?" "Yes." As happiness spread across her face, she grew a beautiful pair of wings and became the flower queen. "Oh wow, Tia! I don't know what I would do if I would land in such a strange world. I think I am happy where I am." Tia, aren't you going to your friend's party? "No, Tofu. Mommy has asked me to stay home with you tonight because she and Papa will be returning home late." "Oh no. I'm sorry, Tia. Because of me, you can't go to your party." "It's okay, Tofu. Sometimes we have to sacrifice things for the ones we love. Just like the Little Mermaid." "Little Mermaid? Is it a story? Tell me, Tia, please." The Little Mermaid. Once upon a time, there was a sea kingdom at the bottom of the sea. The king of the seas had 6 beautiful daughters who were mermaids. They were all very beautiful, but the youngest of them was the prettiest of them all. She had a gentle face, big round eyes, and a voice sweeter than anyone else's in the world. When the Little Mermaid turned 15 years old, her grandmother called her to her room. "Come, my darling. Today you have turned 15. And from now onwards, you can go to the world above. Just remember, the people above are very different from us. They do not have a beautiful fishtail like us. Instead, they have 2 legs." "Thank you, Grandmother. I have waited for this day for so long. When I return, I will tell you about everything I see above." That night, the Little Mermaid went to the surface of the water. The sight of the stars and the cool breeze that touched her face took her breath away. She was just getting used to the feeling when she saw a big ship cross in front of her. Aboard it were many men, and they were celebrating the birthday of the young prince who had just turned 16. The little mermaid was mesmerized with the handsome looks of the prince. She couldn't take her eyes off him as the ship sailed past her. She was so lost in him that she did not notice the storm build up in the sky and the sea begin to rage. The ship had only sailed a little further when the storm shook it up. The sailors tried to stir it to safety, but many men, including the prince, fell into the sea. The little mermaid rushed to him and saved him from drowning. She took him ashore.
Don't worry, you are safe. Open your eyes.
But the prince lay unconscious. The mermaid decided to get help. When she couldn't get any, she came back to where the prince was. She saw him surrounded by many people. A beautiful princess was kneeling by him as others worked to awaken him. The prince opened his eyes, and the little mermaid was relieved that her prince will be saved now.
You saved my life. Thank you.
The prince knew nothing about the little mermaid. He didn't even know that it was she who had actually saved his life. This broke the mermaid's heart. She went back to her father's home. She told her sisters and grandmother what had happened.
Forget him, child. Humans and we are very different. To be with him forever, you will have to get him to love you more than anything else he loves in the world, even more than his own parents. How will that ever happen? Think about it.
But the little mermaid could not forget the handsome prince. Every night she visited the spot where she had laid him after saving his life. One day, she decided to visit the witch in her father's kingdom. Maybe she knew a way that the mermaid could be with the prince.
Yes, there is a way. I can send you to the land above the sea. You will lose your fishtail and have legs. If by the second sunset you can get the prince to love you more than he loves his parents, then you can be with him forever. Otherwise, you will die and become foam in the sea. But in return, you must give me your voice.
But without my voice, how will I make the prince fall in love with me?
You still have your pretty face and eyes. You will also be the most beautiful dancer anyone has ever seen. Now go.
In a flash, the mermaid found herself on the land. Her fishtail turned into human legs. It caused her pain, but she could not even scream because the witch had taken her voice away. Somehow,
the mermaid made her way to the prince's castle. There was a big celebration going on there, but the guards would not let the mermaid enter because they didn't know who she was, and she couldn't answer them when they asked her about it. So she was not allowed to enter. Somewhere in the castle, music started playing. Remembering what the witch had said about dancing, Little Mermaid started dancing.
Oh, I have never seen anyone dance so beautifully. Maybe she has come to dance for the royal family in the celebrations. Oh, she is a dancer. Let me take her to the court.
Once the mermaid reached the royal court, she saw that the celebration was for the wedding of the prince. Little Mermaid was heartbroken. She thought the only way of meeting the prince now would be to dance and draw his attention towards her. And so she performed a beautiful dance for the royal family. When the prince saw her, he came up to her.
Hello, young lady. I have seen you in my dreams. Who are you?
In his heart, the prince hoped that she would be the one who had saved him from drowning. He longed to hear the voice that had saved him when he was dying. But no sound came out when the little mermaid tried to reply.
Forgive me. I think I'm confused between you and someone else. But please do join us.
The prince led her to the ship on which the wedding was going to take place. Many people spoke to her, but she could not answer anyone. The princess was especially kind to her and took special care of her. I know you saved the prince that day. Thank you. Because of you, I have found the love of my life. Please always stay with us. The little mermaid saw that the princess and the prince loved each other and were very happy together. She decided not to pursue the prince anymore. He belonged to another woman. Although her heart ached to let him go, she happily attended the wedding and all the celebrations that went on throughout the next day. Soon it was evening. The second sunset was about to happen. The little mermaid knew she would die and become foam on the sea. As she stood there, looking at the prince and his princess, she heard some voices behind her. She turned around to see. Her sisters were there in the water. But all of them had very short hair now,
instead of the long flowing locks they used to have earlier.
Sisters, what are you doing here?
We have come to save you. We went to the witch. In exchange of her hair, she gave us this knife. If you stab the prince through his heart before sunset, you can be saved. Handing the knife to the youngest sister, all the other sisters vanished under the water once again. The little mermaid stood there holding the knife to her heart. She looked at the newlyweds once again. She knew what she had to do. At the sunset, she tossed the knife into the sea.
Goodbye, my love.
And so, for the happiness of her beloved prince, the little mermaid sacrificed her own life and joined the sea as foam.
Tia, this is such a beautiful story. It shows how much the little mermaid loved the prince. Thank you for not going to the party and staying with me.
That's because I love you, my little brother.
I love you too, my darling sister Tia. Good night, Tia.
Good night, Tofu. Once upon a time, there lived a lonely couple who only wished to have a child. They lived in a little house all on their own. At the back of the house, there was a small little window from which a splendid garden could be seen. This garden was full of very beautiful flowers and herbs. No one dared to enter the garden as it belonged to a witch named Dame Gothel. One day, the woman saw a plant called rampion, which is used to make salads.
Dear husband, I have a strong desire to have a salad made out of that plant.
Oh, but that belongs to the wicked witch.
Oh, please do something. I really want to eat those rampions.
Okay, dear. I will try to get it for you.
At midnight, the husband climbed the wall into the garden of the witch and started taking some rampions. The man took the rampion and his wife made a salad out of it and ate it. But the very same night, there was a knock on the door, and the man knew something was wrong.
How dare you, human! Come into my garden and steal my rampions like a thief. You will suffer for it.
Oh, please forgive me. My wife saw your rampions from the window and she wanted it so bad that I could not say no to her.
Oh, if that's the truth, then I will let you have as many rampions as your wife wants, but only on one condition.
What is that condition?
You must give me the child which your wife will bring into this world.
The man, in his terror, consented to everything. As time passed by, the couple gave birth to a beautiful little baby girl. But that very same night,
the witch came to their door and took away the baby girl, leaving the poor parents in complete sorrow.
You are such a beautiful looking girl. I will name you Rapunzel and take care of you. Ha 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 ha.
The witch kept her locked in a tower with no doors and stairs, but just a small little window. As the time passed by, Rapunzel grew into a beautiful girl with very long golden locks. But her beauty went in vain because the cruel witch never allowed her to go anywhere. Sad Rapunzel just used to stand at the little window and sing sad songs. When the witch had to visit Rapunzel, she used to ask Rapunzel to let down her hair.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me.
One day, when Rapunzel was standing at the window singing sad songs, la la la, a very handsome prince was passing by. He stopped and looked here and there to see where this beautiful voice was coming from. La la la.
Oh, what a beautiful song! Who is singing so beautifully?
The prince noticed the beautiful voice coming from the tower. He wanted to climb the tower and looked for the door, but could not find one. He went back home in dismay. But Rapunzel's singing had touched his heart so much that every day he started going to the forest to listen to Rapunzel's songs. One day, he was standing behind the tree when he saw the witch coming. And he heard what she said.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me.
Then Rapunzel let down her long, beautiful hair. And the witch climbed up the tower.
Oh, that's the way to climb up to the tower. I shall do the same.
The next day, when it began to grow dark, he went to the tower.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let your hair down to me.
Immediately the hair fell down and the prince climbed up.
Oh, who are you?
Oh Lord, you are the most beautiful maiden that I have ever seen in my life. I have lost my heart to you. Will you marry me? Will you be my wife and live with me in my kingdom?
Oh, my prince, I wish that was possible. But the witch won't let me go out of this tower. And if she comes to know about you, she will kill you.
I don't care. You are coming with me now. Come on, let's go.
Oh, Prince, I am ready to go away with you, but I do not know how to get down. If I let down my hair, then how will I get down?
You are right.
You have to go now. The witch will come soon.
Yes, don't worry, Rapunzel. I will think of something and come back tomorrow.
That moment, when the prince was climbing down the tower, the witch saw him.
Oh, so he wants to take Rapunzel away. They both will have to pay for this.
The witch climbed the tower after asking Rapunzel to let down her hair.
You treacherous girl! How could you even think of betraying me? You shall pay for this.
The witch took a big pair of scissors and chopped off her long, beautiful tresses. Rapunzel was left all alone in the desert by the witch to live in grief and misery. Meanwhile, the prince returned the next evening to take Rapunzel away.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
The wicked witch let down the long braid that she had chopped off from Rapunzel's hair, and the prince climbed the tower without knowing what danger was awaiting him. When the prince was about to enter the window, the wicked witch chopped off the braid just to see the prince fall off the tower into the thorny bushes under the tower. The prince started bleeding from his eyes as the thorns blinded him completely. The witch cast a spell on the prince, and he wandered in woods around the world without any sight and survived in poor conditions. Meanwhile, the prince roamed about in misery for 2 years, and finally he got to the desert where Rapunzel was left by the witch.
La la la.
He suddenly heard the beautiful, sad voice of his beloved and started shouting in excitement.
That voice! That voice! Is it you, Rapunzel? Is it really you?
He went towards it, and when he approached, Rapunzel said,
Oh, Prince, you finally found me. I missed you so much. I am so happy to see you that I can't stop crying.
2 of her tears fell on his eyes, and they grew clear again, and he could see with them as before.
I can see again. Oh, my sweet Rapunzel, what have they done to us? Let's go back to my kingdom.
He took her to his kingdom. After a year, Rapunzel gave birth to a pretty little baby girl who looked just like her, and they lived happily ever after. Get up, Tofu, or you'll get late for school. Get up, Tofu. Tia, you? What happened? That was... Yeah, I know. That was me in your dream. Now get up and get ready. Tia, I got a school project to make, but the teacher challenged us to use only the materials available in nature to build the project model. Well, that's very good. We must consume the things provided to us by nature, just like the nature princess did. Who is she? The nature princess. Not very long ago, in a faraway village, there lived a poor little girl named Iris. She lived with her mother and an elder sister. They were not very well off, but still managed to keep their stomachs full and their hearts happy. Iris was a very kind girl
who loved spending time in the nature. She used to talk to birds and rabbits and play with butterflies to keep her lonely heart happy. Because she was the poorest in her friend circle, she was often pulled down by other girls.
Iris, what's in your hair? What?
It's dirt, of course. Maybe you should tell your mother to bathe you and buy you a new dress.
I bathe every day and I don't need a new dress. I get dirt on me because I play all day in the nature. This is so not very kind of you. I'm leaving now.
Yeah, go away. And so teary-eyed Iris runs towards her home. As soon as she sees her mother, she falls into her arms and starts sobbing bitterly. Oh, my sweet pea, who dare bring tears to your pretty blue eyes?
Am I not pretty, Ma? Tell me.
Oh, my darling, you are the prettiest and I love you so much. You are gold, my child.
Really? Am I?
Yes, my pudding. Iris smiles widely and kisses her mother. She then hops into the garden to play with the rabbits.
Mr. Rabbit, Ma says I'm the prettiest. Do you think so too?
Yes, little Iris, you are the most beautiful girl inside out in the entire village. That is why we all love you so much. You are so kind to us, unlike the other kids who always tease us.
Oh, thank you.
Just when Iris was playing in the garden, the king's men arrived with an invitation. It was Prince Noah's birthday, and everybody in the village was invited to the royal palace for celebrations.
I will buy the most expensive gown in the market.
And I will buy that trending pink gown.
Oh, how graceful and elegant I would look.
Iris, what will you wear? The same old rugged skirt?
I am not going to the party.
Iris walks away sadly. Everybody was quite in the mood to prep up for the party, but Iris's heart was weighed down because she was poor and couldn't afford a new nice dress. She walked away quietly into the woods and sat under a clover tree and started sobbing bitterly.
Oh God, why me? I want to go to the party too and wear the prettiest gown and dance the night away.
Just as Iris was crying, a sparkling four-leaf clover landed softly on her frock. To her surprise, the clover tree spoke to her.
Oh, how can a kind and pretty little girl cry under my shade? What happened, dear girl?
I don't have a pretty dress to wear to the palace. All the other kids are getting dressed in the best clothes, and all I have is a couple of rugged dresses.
Oh, sweet child, your heart is heavy, isn't it? All your answers are right there in that garden. Go and find it.
In the garden? Hello there, Mr. Tree. What's in the garden? Let me see.
Iris walks up to the garden and all her animal friends gather around her and sing a merry song.
Little Iris, we want to help you since you have always been so kind to us. Take some of my fur for your dress. And you can take few of my feathers too. You healed my broken wings once. And you can take us with you. We will sit on your gown and flutter merrily. We'll shed some petals for your gown. Oh, thank you, everybody. You all are so kind to me. I will never forget this.
Go, little Iris, go. Show the world how beautiful you are inside out. You don't need all the expensive things in the world to look pretty. You are gorgeous just the way you are. You have been so kind to us and we love you. And so Iris runs to her mother with the feathers and petals and everything pretty.
she tells her mother to sew her a gown. At first, she seemed confused, but she ended up stitching the prettiest gown for her daughter. Finally, the day of the party had arrived as Iris wore the beautiful gown.
Oh, my child, look at you. You look like a princess, my nature princess.
Thank you, Ma. I must go now. As Iris walked out of the house, she twirled around with happiness, and a bunch of colorful butterflies sat all over her gown, making it even prettier. Thank you, my sweet, sweet friends. It's time to go now. Iris hopped her way to the royal palace, and as she entered, everybody had their eyes glued onto Iris. Look at her gown. It must be costly. She is so gorgeous. It's Iris. All the other girls look at her with envy as Princess Noah glances at her. He asks her for a dance.
Hello, beautiful. Would you do the honor of dancing with me?
Yes, sir. I would love to.
Oh, girl, you are the prettiest one that I have ever laid my eyes on.
And so Iris and Noah danced the night away. They couldn't get their eyes off each other, while everybody couldn't get their eyes off the couple. Iris proved that money doesn't make you a pretty person. It is kindness and humbleness that makes you pretty inside out. Wow, Tia! Iris was a good person, and it is all that matters, right?
Yes, Tofu. Iris was a pretty girl at heart. It is the most important thing.
Wow! This is such a huge box.
Who is it from?
It's from Bill. Let's open it and see.
Yay! Let me help you.
Whoa, Tia! This is the best gift ever.
Indeed it is. Well, you have not opened my gifts yet.
You did not give me anything yet, Tia.
Haha, here you go.
What's that?
I made this sweater for you. And these chocolates too.
But, Tia, it's just a sweater and chocolates. It seems like you don't love me that much. Have you seen the gifts that my friends have given me? I have got lots of toys and branded clothes.
Tofu, you are belittling me. I made the gifts for you with so much love.
But, Tia, I did not mean it that way.
I understand what you mean. Do you want to hear a beautiful story?
Yes, please.
The Princess and the Salt. Long, long ago, in an enormous castle, there lived a mighty king with his 3 daughters. One sunny morning, as the king was taking a stroll in his garden, he called his 3 daughters. He wanted to know how much each of them loved him. My lovely daughters, come here to me. I have a question for you all.
Good morning, Father. What is that you want to ask us?
Oh, my dearest Stella, tell me, how much do you love your father?
I love you as much as I love gold.
On hearing this, the king puffed up with happiness. He then called out to the next daughter, My dearest Julia, tell me, how much do you love your father?
Oh, Father dear, I love you as much as I love diamonds.
On hearing this, the king was even happier. He then turned to his youngest daughter and asked the same question. Oh, my dearest Jane, tell me, how much do you love your father?
Dear Father, I love you as much as I love salt.
As Jane said this, her eyes glittered with love for her father. But the mighty king was so angry with his youngest daughter that he ordered her to get out of the palace forever. How can you say that? For you, is my value only as much as some salt? Get out of this kingdom now, you ungrateful little girl. Never come back here again. And the furious king ordered to banish his daughter to the forest and close the gates of the palace on her. Distressed and rejected, poor little Jane wandered around the forest. Suddenly, she heard the sound of a horse's hooves galloping towards her. The frightened princess ran and hid inside the hollow of a tree bark at once.
Oh no, who is that? What if he abducts me? Oh Lord, please save me.
The horse halted near the tree and a handsome young man jumped off to the ground. He had seen the princess hiding there, and so he called out, "Oh, young lady, don't be afraid. I will not harm you. Do you need any help?"
Who are you?
"I live in the neighboring kingdom. I am a wealthy merchant. What are you doing all alone in this dense forest? Are you lost?" The princess stepped out of the hollow tree bark and started sobbing. She then told the young man about whatever had happened.
I love my father so much, but he doesn't understand.
There will come a day when he will finally understand your love for him, O young princess. Don't be disheartened. The merchant and the princess quickly fell in love with each other, and soon they were married. Years passed, and one day the king lost his way while hunting in the forest. Finally, as fate would have it, he reached the doorstep of the wealthy merchant and asked for help. "Oh, young boy, can you help me? I am lost. I have been wandering in the forest for 2 days. I am tired and hungry." The merchant immediately recognized the king as his wife's father. Despite knowing, he kept quiet about it and welcomed the king inside his house. "Take some rest, and I shall arrange some food for you, Your Majesty." The merchant went inside and told his wife about her father's arrival. The young princess quickly dismissed the cooks from the kitchen and decided to cook food on her own.
You may leave. I will cook the food today.
After some time, a big feast was laid on the table for the king. There were a variety of dishes, and the king, starving like anything, dug into his meal. And as soon as he took a bite, he got furious. "Oh Lord, what is this? How can someone eat something like this? It has no taste. I demand to speak with the cook immediately." To his astonishment, his daughter stood right there in front of him.
Hello, Father. Your food tastes bad because there isn't any salt in it. Our lives would be terrible without salt in our food, wouldn't it? Do you now understand how much I love you, my dearest father? The king stood up with tears in his eyes and immediately pulled his daughter into his arms. He embraced her and promised to never doubt the love she has for him ever again. That was a wonderful story, Tia. I am sorry for the way I behaved. I now understand the love that you have for me. Giving valuable gifts doesn't define love. It's the efforts and the intentions of a person that defines the love we have for each other.
You got it absolutely right, Tofu. Good morning, Tofu.
Good morning, Tia.
Are you all right, Tofu?
Yes, but I'm worried about my friend Sam.
Who is that? And why are you so worried about him?
Sam is new to our school. He joined my class last week. I like him very much. But some other boys have been lying about him, saying that he is not a nice boy.
Oh, that's bad. And are you sad because he is your friend?
Yes, I want people to see how good Sam is. And I don't know how to make it happen.
If Sam is a good person, then I don't think you have anything to worry about, Tofu.
I don't understand. Why?
Let me explain it to you with the story I know. The Princess and the Pea. Once upon a time, a young prince wanted to get married. So he went around the world looking for the right princess to marry. Alas, he found none. Something or the other was always amiss in all the princesses he met to be a true princess to his people. One stormy night, after the prince came back home, he and his family were having their dinner. When there was a commotion outside the castle door. The queen went to see what was going on. What is the matter, guard?
There is a young girl at the door, Your Highness. She says she is a princess.
Intrigued, the queen went to see the princess. When she got there, she was surprised to see a young girl drenched from head to toe.
Who are you?
I am a princess. I was passing through when the storm and lightning spooked the horses and they dragged my carriage into slush and mud. My men are still with the carriage trying to repair it. I have walked many miles to reach here.
Nobody who looked at the young girl could believe that she could ever be a princess. She didn't look anything like a princess. With her hair disheveled and clothes and shoes full of mud, she looked like a poor peasant girl. You are welcome to stay here, O princess. My maids will prepare a royal room and arrange for a hot bath and dry clothes for you. Do join us for supper once you feel better. Come on in.
Thank you very much, Your Highness.
By the time the queen returned to the dining table to join her family, the prince had been informed about the stranger at the door and the queen's decision.
Mother,
Do you really believe that she is a princess? Her appearance betrays her, but her eyes shine with courage, and there is humility and grace in her behavior, just like that of a princess. However, we must wait till tomorrow morning to know whether she is really a princess or not. Saying so, the queen retired from the dinner table and went up to the room that was being prepared for the princess.
Your Highness, the princess is in the bath. We are preparing the bed for her.
Very well. Fetch me 20 of the softest mattresses that the castle has to offer.
Yes, Your Highness.
Once the maids had left, the queen took out a pea from her pocket and placed it right in the middle of the princess's bed. When the maids returned with the mattresses, she ordered them to place them on the top of the pea. That night, the princess slept on her special bed. But she had a sleepless night. She kept tossing and turning all night long. In the morning, she joined the queen for breakfast. How are you, my dear?
I am well, thank you.
But you look so tired. Is something wrong? You must tell me.
Forgive me, Your Highness. I do not wish to sound like an ungrateful guest, but I haven't slept all night. My bed was really soft, but something kept poking me in the back, and I had bruises all over.
The queen smiled happily because she knew that the girl in front of her was a true princess. Only a real princess who has lived all her life in comfort can feel a small pea kept 20 mattresses below her, and only a kind princess would not mention her discomfort unless asked to do so. Son, she is the one you have been looking for. Soon the prince was married to the princess of his dreams, and they happily lived in the kingdom where all the people loved and respected them both a lot.
Wow, Tia! No matter where the princess would have gone, people would have always recognized her because of her behavior.
Exactly, Tofu. And the same thing applies to your friend Sam. If he is a good person, soon people will be able to see that in him. And if he's not, people will be able to see that also.
Yes, you are right, Tia. I don't think I have to worry about him anymore. I am sure everyone will see his truth soon. You know, my friend John stays with his cousins. Yesterday, he came late to the class and the teacher scolded him a lot. John said his cousin brothers made him finish their course before they let him leave for school. He said they always trouble him and make him do a lot of housework.
Oh no, he must feel really bad.
John is a very nice boy. He doesn't disobey anyone. He's very nice to his cousin brothers despite the way they treat him.
That is very nice of him. We should always forgive people for their mistakes. Have you heard the story of Cinderella? Once upon a time, there lived a young girl called Cinderella. Cinderella's mother had died, and so her father had married another woman who had 2 daughters. One day, Cinderella's father went to work and never returned. Cinderella was left at the mercy of her stepmother and 2 stepsisters who made her do all the work of the house.
Cinderella, it's morning already. Where is our breakfast?
Just a moment, stepmother. I am just bringing it out.
As soon as Cinderella had laid the breakfast, the stepmother and stepsister started eating it. Cinderella served her own plate too and was about to eat when her stepsister pushed her own plate away.
Yuck! I hate it.
Yes, now that you mention it, it really is horrible. Mother, do something.
Cinderella, are you trying to kill us? What kind of food is this?
But stepmother, I have made it the way I always make it.
How dare you argue with me? Go and make new breakfast for us. Don't you dare do anything else till we have had our breakfast.
And this is what went on in their house every day. The stepmother and stepsisters troubled Cinderella without any reason. But Cinderella loved them still and never ever complained. One day, an announcement was made in the village.
Let everybody know. There will be a royal ball at the palace tomorrow night, and the king's son, Prince Charming, will marry a maiden from amongst the guests. Everybody from the village is invited.
The whole village was excited. Even Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters couldn't stop talking about it in the house. And that is how Cinderella found out about the ball.
The royal ball! Prince Charming! The whole village is invited. I will finish my work quickly so we can all go together. Won't it be just wonderful?
You! Who said anything about you going? You will stay here and polish our shoes till you can see your face in them.
And so, with a heavy heart, Cinderella saw her stepmother and stepsisters dress up and leave for the royal ball the next day. Once they had left, she cried bitterly. Suddenly, her room lit up, and Cinderella saw the most beautiful fairy she could imagine.
She held in her hand a delicate wand. Who are you? Get up, child. I am your fairy godmother. I am here to get you to the royal ball. Really? I never knew I had a fairy godmother. But how will I get to the ball? I don't have anything to wear. You don't worry about that, my child. And so, in just a few minutes, Cinderella was ready for the royal ball. As she thanked her fairy godmother and got aboard the chariot, she received a word of caution from the fairy godmother. Remember to be back home at 12, otherwise the spell will wear off. Soon Cinderella arrived at the palace. As she entered the great ballroom, everyone turned to look who this beautiful maiden was. Nobody could recognize her. Not even her own stepmother and stepsisters. Prince Charming walked to her.
May I have this dance with you?
Yes, Your Highness. And so Cinderella and Prince Charming danced together throughout the evening. Till Cinderella heard the clock strike. Fairy godmother's words came back to her. She needed to get out of there before the clock struck 12. Without saying a word, she tore away from the prince's grasp and ran out of the palace. The prince ran after her. Wait! What is wrong? Why are you running? I don't even know your name. But Cinderella dared not wait or even look back. Her beautiful gown was already turning into rags again. Her hair was coming loose from the perfect bun that the fairy godmother had made for her. She didn't even stop when one of the glass slippers came off her foot and fell in the palace driveway. She ran out of the palace gates and vanished into the darkness on a path that led to her home. Once home, she went back to polishing the shoes that had been given to her and decided never to speak to anyone about the ball. A few days later, two men from the palace showed up at their door.
The lady that Prince Charming fell in love with left behind her glass slipper at the royal ball. The prince believes that such a beautiful slipper could fit only his beloved. And so we're asking all the girls in the village to try the slipper. The one whom it fits would be the one the prince will marry. If you have any girls in the house, please ask them to try the slipper. Oh, yes, yes. I am sure it was one of my daughters. The slipper would fit one of them.
And so both the stepsisters tried to fit their foot into the slipper one by one. They pushed and pushed, but couldn't get their foot in.
Looks like it wasn't your daughter's after all. Is there any other young lady in the house?
No, there isn't. You can leave. As the king's men made ready to leave, suddenly the door of the house was thrown open. And Prince Charming himself stood there.
Who is this beautiful girl in the upstairs window? Madam, you have lied to us. I demand that the girl be called forth and try the slipper.
Yes, but she is only a servant girl. Nevertheless, Cinderella, come down here at once.
Yes, stepmother.
The moment Prince Charming saw Cinderella, he knew he had found his beloved. He took the slipper from the king's man and slipped it onto her foot himself. The slipper fit perfectly in a moment. Cinderella was once again transformed into the beautiful maiden from the night of the ball. Prince Charming took her to the palace with him.
He ordered that the stepmother and stepsisters be punished for lying to the king's men and treating Cinderella so badly and rudely.
But being the kind-hearted person that she was, Cinderella asked for them to be forgiven. The prince fell in love with her even more for her generosity, and they lived happily ever after.
Wow, Tia, how wonderful is it to forgive people. Thank you for telling me this story.
I will tell it to John too. I'm sure he will like it. Okay, shall we go home now? I think it's getting late.
Look at that man, Tia. He looks so scary. I wouldn't want to be around him.
That is not a nice thing to say, Tofu. Just because he scares you doesn't mean he's not kind and caring. Let me tell you a story of the Beauty and the Beast. The Beauty and the Beast. Belle lived in a village with her father Maurice, who was an inventor. One morning, as she was returning from the market, a hunter named Gaston stopped her. Gaston was an arrogant young man. Everybody in the village knew he always got what he wanted. But no one ever dared stand up against him because his father was the village head. The only person who paid no attention to Gaston was Belle. But Gaston was obsessed with her and wanted to marry her.
Belle, let me walk you home.
Oh, Gaston, no, thank you. I can go home myself.
I insist. I have to talk to your father about something important too.
Belle continued walking, ignoring Gaston, who started walking with her. Once home, Belle quickly went inside.
Morris, come out. I have to talk to you. What is it? It is your lucky day. I am going to marry Belle. You have lost your mind. Go away, Gaston. Belle is never going to marry you.
Just then, there was a loud explosion in Morris's lab, and he took off towards it. Belle also ran towards her father's lab. Seeing that there was no one he could push around, Gaston left. Papa, are you all right?
I have done it, Belle. My experiment was successful. I am leaving for the fair in the nearby village immediately. You will see, my child. People are going to love this.
And so Morris leapt on his horse Philip and rode off. But as he was crossing the forest, he got lost. After a few hours, Philip and he landed in front of a huge, lonely castle. There was no one in sight, so Morris tied Philip to a pole at the entrance and went inside the castle. It was pitch dark inside. A few candles were lit in the corners.
Hello? Is anyone here? I am lost. Can you help me?
A large shadow came across the wall. As it came into light, Morris saw that it was not a man, but a huge, angry beast with an ugly scar across his face.
How dare you enter my castle? You need help? I will help you. I'm sorry. I will leave immediately.
And Morris started running back the way he had come. But the beast got him and started dragging him. He took him down the staircase and locked him in the dungeon.
Please let me go. Please let me go. You will stay here forever. This dungeon is your world now.
A whole day had passed and Morris hadn't returned. Belle got worried and decided to go to the nearby village to look for her father. But she too got lost in the forest and landed up at the same castle. Philip was still there, tied to the pole. Belle decided to go inside, just in case her father was there. Hello? Papa? Anybody here?
How dare you enter my castle?
Get out right away before I lock you in the dungeon too.
Suddenly, the beast moved out of the shadows and stood in front of Belle. She was terrified of him, but dared not run. Somewhere from far away, she could hear another voice. It was her father.
Please, please let me go. Let me go, please. Open this door. Let me go, please.
Do you have my father? Can you please let him go?
Hey, what are you saying?
I will stay instead of him. Please let him go. Hearing this, the beast took Belle's hand and dragged her up the stairs. He led her into a huge room.
So be it. Your father is free, and you shall be my prisoner forever.
And so it was. No matter how much Morris protested, the beast threw Morris out of the castle and into the forest with Philip. When dinner time came, Belle did not join the beast for dinner. Instead, she stayed in her room crying. The beast entered her room and said,
If you are going to stay in this castle, you have to follow its rules. You are expected at dinner. Don't you dare miss it next time.
You are a monster! You didn't even let me see my father one last time! Go away! I hate you! Seeing Belle heartbroken, the beast felt bad. He pulled out a hand mirror from his coat and gave it to her. In the mirror, she would be able to see whomever she wanted to see at that moment. Belle looked into the mirror and saw her father finally leaving from the castle and riding into the forest. But to her horror, she saw he and Philip had suddenly been attacked by a pack of wolves. She gave out a loud cry and ran downstairs out of the castle gates and towards her father. Soon, she found herself and her father Morris surrounded by ferocious wolves. Just as the wolves were about to attack Belle, a large paw grabbed one of them by the neck and threw it away. The wolves now turned on the beast, who had decided to follow Belle and help her save her father. The beast scared them off, but not before they had bit into his arm and injured Morris too. He put Morris on Philip, who took off riding as soon as his master was secure. The beast tried to walk towards the castle, but fainted and fell. He woke up 2 days later to find Belle sitting by his bedside in his room. The wounds on the arm had been bandaged.
You didn't go?
You are awake. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you for saving our lives. Over the next few days, Belle nursed the beast back to health. As they spent time together, Belle realized that he wasn't as mean as he appeared to be the first day they had met. In turn, the beast learned to change his ways and became gentler and kinder. Soon they became very good friends. One day, Belle asked the beast if she could see her father in the mirror. The beast agreed and gave her the mirror. In the mirror, Belle saw all the villagers storming her house. They thought that Morris had gone mad and wanted to send him to the doctor. Nobody believed him when he kept insisting that Belle had been kept as a prisoner by a beast. Worried about her father, Belle requested if she could go to the village for a day just to save her father. And though the beast knew that she might never return, he agreed.
Go, but take this mirror with you. In case you ever want to see me.
Once Belle reached her house, she stood between her father and the villagers and tried to explain the truth. But the angry mob, led by Gaston, who wanted revenge from Morris and Belle for turning his wedding proposal down, wouldn't listen. Gaston grabbed Belle's hand and tried to get her out of the way. As she struggled to free herself, the beast's mirror fell out of her pocket. In it was the beast, looking right at them all.
Goodness! She's shown the beast the way to the village. We must go and kill him before he comes here.
The angry mob started marching towards the castle with fire torches and swords. They left behind Morris and Belle locked up in their house. Soon they stormed the castle gates. Gaston went upstairs and challenged the beast to a fight. But the beast had had a change of heart. He did not wish to fight. So he came out of the balcony unarmed and tried to talk to the villagers. But Gaston wouldn't have it. He wanted to kill the beast, and so he attacked him. His sword pierced through the beast's stomach. Shocked, the beast swung his arm to protect himself. Scared, Gaston stepped backwards and fell off the balcony and died. Somehow, Belle had escaped from her house. And reached the balcony just as the beast fell on the floor.
I love you, Belle.
I love you too. Please don't go. Suddenly, the castle lit up with thousands of candles. As Belle still lay crying by the beast, he turned into a handsome young prince.
Belle, it's me. You freed me from the witch's spell. To break the spell, I had to love and win the love of another. You loved me even though I was a beast. You saved me, Belle. You saved me. It really is you?
As they hugged each other, they saw the rest of the castle and the forest bloom with beautiful trees and flowers. So you see, Tofu, you should never judge people by the way they look.
I'm sorry, Tia. I will always remember this now.
For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.